Hello. So, truth be told, I've been trying to figure out what to do for the 1,000 subs video, to the point where I haven't even really started like a script on it yet. And I kind of just realized that I should probably just talk. You know, it would be good for me. It would help me out a bit. This is actually recording number 2. I'm going to keep this one. I won't get rid of it. So I'm not going to go on forever. I'll try to keep it to 20 minutes. But I made a community post today that I didn't publish. And I was basically talking about what happened this past week. Now, I had kind of a rough week because of something that happened on Monday at work. Nothing bad happened. I'm okay now. It wasn't even a big deal. I didn't get reprimanded or anything. It was just something that like mentally affected me. And I was kind of bummed this week. I didn't really do anything this weekend pertaining to the channel other than respond to comments. I've been playing Resident Evil 0. Don't play Resident Evil 0. It's fucking boring. If you do plan on playing it, here's some tips. Get rid of Rebecca's fucking handgun. Don't carry the knife. And accept that you shouldn't always pick up an item just because you see it. But you should go over and examine it and then reject it because it'll mark it on your map. And that's why Resident Evil 0 sucks, because it's a lot of fucking backtracking and doing dumb bullshit. But anyways, so this week, I had that junk happen at work, and then I was like, you know what? I want to get Adventures to Go done. That's what I want to start working on. You know, the collab with Frame came out. I have nothing else to work on at this point. Let's do it. And I went back and I finally tagged all of the footage I had. Now, this is a big deal because my system for tagging footage in the past has screwed up so many videos I've tried to make. I can't even name all of them. It has affected every single video I've put out on this channel since How to Play Sonic Riders. That was the first one it affected. Now what this essentially did was that I would tag all of the footage and I would tag events within the footage, things I wanted to show in the video. And then it would be so difficult to navigate when I was actually editing the video, I would give up and I would just go and record the footage myself in an independent clip I could just drop into the project. I have done that with every single video to date. I have used chunks out of the large amounts of gameplay I recorded, you know, like the basic playthrough, and then I would go back and like, I don't know the word for it, but basically I would go back and like recreate something so I could use it as footage, like me buying a specific item from a shop or something like that. Now, for those of you that are actually keep up with my channel, last year I was going to do Twilight Princess and then Skyward Sword and then Skyward Sword HD. None of those reviews exist on my channel. I recorded a full Twilight Princess playthrough on Twilight Princess HD and tagged it, and it's still sitting on my external hard drive. I have the full playthrough. Now, I didn't make a video on that because I probably could have, but then I would have missed Skyward Sword, which was the whole reason I was doing that. And I needed to get Skyward Sword out because I wanted to get subs. And then I did that. I put it out in a single part, so I would hit the deadline. And then I got a job. And then I worked that job full-time for a month. Absolutely hated myself because sometimes I was doing 9.5-hour days after not having worked since 2018, which blew. It was not fun. I'm okay now, but God, it sucked when I first started. I don't work full-time anymore, for the record. I work part-time now. Sometimes I'll do anywhere between 3 to 5 days a week. Typically it's 3, though. And I work about anywhere between 5 to 6.5 hours a day, usually. Anyways, by the time I got back to Skyward Sword, I was like, this review got away from me. There's no point in me doing this. I don't remember what I was doing. I don't even want to work on it anymore, so fuck it. So I canceled it. Basically, the way I was doing notes was affecting it. Now, I'm going to show you the method I'm using right now because I have a screenshot of it. I'm going to bring it up real quick. Yeah, here we go. So, all that stuff that's on the right-hand side of the timeline are all of my markers and regions. Now, if you look in the top middle of the editing window, you'll see a thing that is listing out all of the markers. Yeah, I just learned about that. So before I knew about that, I was recording them all independently in Notepad, making a note of the timestamp each one was at. Now, as you can see, all of the footage with the markers is in the second half of the timeline at about like the 2-hour mark. Now I do this because the stuff before that on the left is where you want to edit the video. It makes it a little bit easier when you render it. But when I've tagged footage in the past, I would do the markers as you see here, but they would be at the beginning of the video. And I didn't understand how to like move a clip, you know, how to move footage, but also take the markers with it. So like I would move the footage and then like all of the markers would just be there without the footage underneath, which makes them worthless. So I learned how to do it. It's actually an option down here at the bottom. You have to click and enable, and then you have to disable it when you're done. But because I didn't understand all this stuff, I would record, you know, the labels and their positions in Notepad, and then I would take the Vegas save file and I would transfer it into a new project, and I would bump it far over to the right of the timeline, so I would have a bunch of space to edit. And the problem with this, the problem with this is that the markers exist, but not really. So as you can see in this screenshot, they're kind of like little flags, basically. You know, like a little toothpick with a flag on the end of it, you stick in something. So when you do that, where they're like saved onto the save file and you transfer the save file into a new Vegas project, they are there, but imagine all of those flags are bumped down into the image of the footage. They don't appear on the footage in like a video preview or in a rendered project, but the labels are a part of the footage. Like they're physically on the footage on the timeline, so you can't just click on them and be brought to them automatically. Like it won't snap to them. And also, if you bump them, like if you move them further down the timeline, all of the stuff I recorded in Notepad about their positions is now almost worthless. I would have to add in the exact time I moved it to every single one of them individually. Fuck that. That's a lot of really dumb, worthless work that's not worth doing. And that is why Twilight Princess got canned. That has affected every single fucking video I have made on my channel, starting with how to play Sonic Riders. This is why my content output has been so slow. Now, if you look at the, you know, the markers window, which by the way, I also learned how to customize the editing window. I didn't know how to do it before. It's really easy. You just hold down Control and then it will like lock it into part of the window. But this, while it will not take me directly to where it's at, having them listed out like this, so like, let's look at number 20, return switch, or number 19, Advice Monument Ice Bug Wings location. Okay, so that's number 19. So like if I look down here real easy, okay, so I can easily make out number 16 and 24. So I have an idea of where 19 is going to be. That's how much easier it makes this shit. And what sucks is as you go further, they no longer have labels, which kind of sucks, but that's the way it is. Not a big deal in my opinion. This is honestly most of the footage I'm going to be using anyways. That's the bulk of like the gameplay I'm going to get. I'm going to play the game a lot more, but I don't know if I'm going to record it because I wanted to just kind of show off the basics and not spoil anything. But anyways, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But, yeah, as you can see, this is a lot easier to deal with than going into a fucking notepad and, like, manually figuring all of it out. That was a huge pain in the ass. There's still a little bit of manual thinking involved here, but it's nowhere near as bad. And, yeah, that was affecting all of my videos. Now, the reason why, you're probably like, what the fuck? But your Zatch Bell video and, like, the e-reader video, those are all long. What are you talking about? What do you mean it was affecting all your videos? Well, it did affect all my videos. However, for the Zatch Bell video, I had a bunch of gameplay that was labeled out like this. I just didn't use it. I did. I used about half of it. And the rest of it, I would boot Zatch Bell up, and I would specifically record the thing I needed footage of, and then I would stop the recording and I'd plug it into the Vegas project. This is how I've done every single video since then. That's how Pokemon E-Cards was done. That's how Activision Hits Remix was done. It's even how the Sudoku video was done. In fact, the Sudoku video was entirely that kind of footage. Very little of it was actually labeled. It was all done in segments of me playing all the different modes and then having those modes marked, and that was just kind of it. They were all separate clips, so it made it really easy. But obviously, for something like Adventures to Go, which is an RPG / dungeon crawler, that's not going to cut it. That's going to be a huge pain in the ass. And I'm going to have to label them. So I had to figure out a new method that wasn't the stupid notepad shit I was doing before. And this works a lot better. So because I've done this, this should make videos come out a little faster. And again, this is why a lot of videos got canceled and why I was unable to keep promises. Because another thing is that, as you can see with all these markers right here, I can make notes off of those and turn that into a script. Not entirely, but it'll help me get the framework down. Yeah, before, it wasn't quite like that. I now, like, I've kind of ironed out the process a little bit. This is still, like, if I didn't figure this thing out in Vegas, I still would have done it in a notepad and it would have looked like this, and it would have helped a little bit. But this will make it so much easier, it's ridiculous. And this is also why you've only seen certain types of games. Like, for example, I really want to do Final Fantasy 1, the Anniversary Edition, but that's going to be long as fuck. Like, it's not going to be easy to do. And with the method I've been making videos with in the past, it was absolutely not going to be possible. But now I can do it. Don't think that's coming anytime soon, but yes, now I can do it. In fact, just to tell you guys, okay, Adventures to Go is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have the next 7 PSPMan episodes planned out, including Adventures to Go. And I'll just give you an example. Kingdom of Paradise is towards the end of that. I can actually do that one now without any fears. That is a pretty long game, as far as I know. But I'm not worried about it now because it should be very easy for me to do with the new tagging method. So basically, I figured out something. I learned my editing software a little bit more, and everything's just a lot easier now. And that's the way it should be. This is why I haven't like done a Patreon. This and the fact that I don't think my editing skills are up to par as well as my audio. You'll not hear it in this video, but when I record my audio, because of the position my microphone has to be in, there's nothing I can do about it. The left and right audio balance is off. One side is louder than the other. So when I actually go in, I actually convert it all to mono, which is fine. I would rather have it be that way anyways. But that's annoying. That's something I'd like to fix. I'd also like to get better at editing. I feel like I'm coming out of being a beginner in terms of editing and getting into more intermediate stuff, finally, which is good. That's where I want to be. But all of these kind of problems with production issues, you know, lack of knowledge on how to do things, my slow output, those are all reasons why I didn't have a Patreon. I won't make a Patreon until I feel like my content is worth paying for at a personal level, like if it was something I would pay for. So don't expect it anytime soon. I probably won't even do it if people ask me. It's going to be solely based upon what I feel comfortable with. Now, I did kind of want to talk about my monetization a little bit. I am trying to get monetized. I will eventually run ads on this channel. I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, this is nobody's fault but my own, but I'm a college dropout. And I've come to realize that working a minimum wage job, unless you're willing to do full-time, which I'm physically not capable of doing that. I just can't. It's hard to explain, but I think I may actually be undiagnosed autistic or something like that. There's something that's not right with me. I struggle with certain things, and I kind of don't know how to explain it. I don't really want to talk about it because I don't want pity or anything like that, but I have a hard time working full-time jobs. Like I said, I did it for a month, and I hated myself when it was done. Like, I wanted to quit and go home completely. But I can split my head between 2 different places, because then I get some kind of a break, and I'm not just exhausting myself mentally thinking about the same thing all the time. So splitting a part-time job with YouTube, I can absolutely do. But that means I have to make money doing YouTube. So yes, the goal of this channel is to make money. I hate wording it like that, but yeah, that is what I want to do. You have to understand that PSP stuff is something I want to do with my life. A lot of PSP stuff is not documented. Good example of interest to go. No Wikipedia page. Frantics, PSP exclusive. No archives on archive.org for the manuals or anything like that. Most of the PSP stuff is untouched in terms of like greater discussion as well as historical preservation. And I want you to understand something. The historical preservation part of my channel is not something I'm accepting money for. Do not give me money for that. Don't. I am choosing to do that because I think it is important. If you want to give me money, do it because I'm reviewing the games. When I actually launch a Patreon, I will make that very clear. The money used for this has nothing to do with the historical preservation aspect. I am doing that because I know it's important and it needs to be done. That's it. Simple as that. But yes, preserving the manuals is one of the big goals of the channel. And in fact, towards the end of October, I'm going to be going on vacation for the first time by myself. I'm actually going to go to a completely different state. I'm going to get on a plane for the first time, and I'm going to go meet my best friend, who I have been talking to since the end of 2020. And she's been a big help encouraging me with my channel too, and just a lot of other stuff in general. Good example, she's why I have the job I have right now. She basically got me to kind of kick myself in the butt a little bit and actually like get my life together. But that month, October, I'm not going to work on YouTube videos. In fact, what I'm going to focus on entirely is manual archiving, because I know how to do it now, but I don't know the full steps for it. Like, there's some stuff where you tweak your scans. I can get really good scans now. I have good scans. I got good scans of Carol Voderman's Sudoku. They're not in the video. I did this after the fact. But, they need to be, like, color corrected and stuff like that, and I don't know how to do that stuff yet. So that's what I'm going to be learning how to do. Excuse me. And I'm going to try and get as many manuals up as possible. Excuse me. Now, the initial idea with the manuals was to put the manuals up on archive.org as I did the episodes, and then I thought of it and I thought, wow, that's fucking scummy. I'm never going to do that. I'm literally restricting people of information because I haven't reviewed it yet. No, we're not doing that. So what'll probably happen is every once in a while is I'll do like a big fucking batch of them and get them out. I'm not exactly sure, but they're not going to be restricted by the episodes I'm doing. It'll be a completely independent thing I'm doing by choice. And the reason I'm doing it is because nobody archives the North American stuff. There's people archiving PSP stuff, but it's all the PAL region stuff, which is fine, but I want to archive the North American stuff because there's some exclusives. So, anyways, yeah, I do want to monetize the channel. I think I'll take sponsorships as well. I don't know. I don't really want to talk about that yet because I haven't looked into it that much. Frame has told me some stuff. Because, I don't know if people know this, but, like, Frame and I are actually friends. We don't talk, like, all the time, but I do talk to him, like, 2-3 times a week. But he has told me some stuff on what it's like to do sponsorships. So, I know a little bit about it. I'll name off some I would like to do. I'd like to do Dollar Shave Club. I unironically use Dollar Shave Club, so I would love to have them as a sponsor. That's just one. There's probably some others I wouldn't mind using. I actually do think Dollar Shave Club is worth the price you pay, and the convenience is really nice. Not having to worry about having razors is a big deal for me because I don't like my facial hair. I don't like the way it feels on my face. See why I think I'm, like, undiagnosed something? But, yeah. Yeah, it's a nice convenience, and I do appreciate that it comes to my house and I don't have to, like, go to town and do a bunch of dumb shit. But, yeah, that's kind of it. I didn't really have, like, a shit ton of stuff to talk about. Oh, it's 19 minutes. I haven't even addressed the elephant in the room. Yeah, thank you. Seriously, 1,000 feels unreal. It really does, like, genuinely. One of the things that's difficult for me to wrestle with concerning my channel is the fact that people actually care about what I have to say. Because it's not like a lot of people follow me on Twitter or anything like that. That's fine. I fucking hate Twitter anyways. I'd rather use the YouTube community tab, personally. At least then I can talk directly to people that actually care about what I'm doing. But, the fact that there's people out there that care about what I have to say, is not something I'm familiar with. Growing up, I was picked on quite a bit, and it feels like... It feels weird to have your opinion respected, and have people be like, oh look, this person has like something of value to offer. Whereas for a long time, I didn't think I had anything valuable to offer, so, thank you. I'm not trying to worry anybody. Admittedly, there was a point in my life, like most people, where I didn't have a lot of self-worth in my own eyes, but I'm not like that anymore. But it is still a little jarring when I realize people that don't know me think what I do is good. And that feels really nice. So, sincerely, thank you. You know, I've done, like, social media stuff in the past. I had a friend that I'm no longer friends with, but she and I remember we did a couple of Facebook pages. I'm not going to name them specifically. Good example, when Blue Exorcist came out on Toonami, we made a Facebook page for the main character, and that thing got like thousands of likes in the first 24 hours of it going up, because it was like the day that the anime premiered. And I used to post on that page under a different admin tag. I would basically like schedule art to get posted to the page. And she also had a page for like Shiba Inus that I didn't really have that big of a part in, but I did schedule stuff to it. That page is massive. It's still around. I think it's got almost over like 200K on it. But those are all social media stuff I worked on that aren't mine, I guess. Like, they were big, but it's not something I did myself. So, I never really counted those as, like, success stories, because those people aren't coming there for me. They are coming there because of what's being posted, because of the topic. And that is kind of what I'm doing with PSPMan. I am trying to corner a market. So, people that care about the PSP, hey, they'll come right to me. And that's, you know, that's good. That's what I want. But at the end of the day, that doesn't necessarily mean they care about what I have to say. They just care about a certain topic being covered. But Rose Tinted has actually shown me that people do care about what I have to say. And yeah, thanks. It's really validating. Feels good, man. Yeah. 1,000 doesn't feel real. I don't even think it's like that big of a deal. It was more of a big deal because it was monetization. I'm sorry I keep talking about money, but yeah, like that really is important. I don't make a whole lot. And if I could be honest with you guys, every time I put out a PSPMan episode, I lose anywhere between $20 to $50 because I commission all those thumbnails. I pay my artist John for each one. I also paid somebody for all my channel assets, like my profile picture and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm not making money on YouTube at the moment. It is solely a passion project, but this is what I want to do with my life. I want to cover the whole library, and I want to get this stuff preserved. And it's interesting for me because I get to learn about things I wouldn't necessarily expose myself to in the first place. Like, again, Sudoku. I learned how to play Sudoku just so I could cover those games. So, like, when I have to do, like, Chess Masters or whatever the fuck it's called. I know there's a chess game on PSP. I'm sorry. I'll put it on screen right now. But, yeah, I have to learn chess. I don't know how to play chess. I know a little bit. Like, I know the knight moves in, like, an L, and the bishop moves in, like, the X format, and, like, the rook moves in, like, a plus format, and the king and the queen move in, you know, a star, basically. They can move anywhere, but the king can only move one square, whereas the queen can move as many as she wants. But outside of, like, basic rules like that, I fucking suck at chess. So, like, I'm going to have to learn how to play it so I can review that properly. More importantly, though, what's a good example? Oh, yeah, how about Madden 06? Yeah, football. I don't know jack shit about football. I grew up playing t-ball, which I didn't like, even though I was good at it. So I know a little bit about baseball, but, like, sports and stuff like that, I don't know a whole lot about. I have to learn all of that. in order to cover them correctly. Same thing with stuff like fishing and like tennis. You know, tennis is a sport, I'm sorry. But yeah, I have to learn a lot of this stuff, and it's kind of a way... I view PSPMan as a way to broaden my horizons and learn more about the world and kind of grow as a person, because for a long time I didn't really give a shit about my future, and video games are always going to be something that's important to me. So I figured, hey, why not explore the world a little bit through the realm of video games? And, you know, that's also why I want to do the UMD video stuff a little bit, too. Because, you know, I also missed out on movies growing up. I know that sounds really stupid, but, yeah, I did. I didn't watch a lot. I remember the last movie I watched in theaters was, sorry. Getting kind of uncomfortable. The last movie I watched in theaters was, like, Bridge to Terabithia, which was a fucking terrible movie. Don't watch it. I'm not endorsing him, but Nostalgia Critic has a video on that, and that was the first time I had seen it since I saw it, and I was like, oh my god, I remember this movie. I literally hated this movie so much I did not watch movies at the theater for like at least 4 years. So like I missed out on like a huge amount of stuff growing up. In fact, that actually brings up something else I did want to talk about. But yeah, I want to, you know, I want to use PSPMan as a way to like broaden my horizons and kind of be a better person and learn about the world. It's an avenue for me to better myself, I guess. But that's a good example. So I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but in my video reviews, sorry, stumbled a bit there. I mainly focus on gameplay. I have to go back and check the Sudoku video and look at those rules again. Those are going to be a reoccurring thing on the channel. But I think I had one rule that was like, gameplay is tantamount. What is a game if it's not fun to play? I think I might have said enjoyable, which is what it should be. Because stuff like Dark Souls, like I'm playing through that. I'm not really having fun, but I'm still doing it. Same thing with Resident Evil 0. It has little bursts of fun, but it kind of sucks to play through. If I didn't mention that I'm playing through Resident Evil 0 this weekend, I'm almost done with it, honestly. That was because I had such a bad time at work this week. So I did that little bit of work on my YouTube channel earlier this week, and I just kind of took the weekend off, so... But yeah, a lot of my stuff's focused on gameplay. And, I think games should be a bit of an experience, or should be something that you want to do. That sounds stupid. Okay. Let me reword that. So, like, Persona 3 Portable is a pretty narrative-heavy game. It has good gameplay, but the narrative is, like, an equal focus. So, like, for something like that, the narrative is important. Notice how I'm using very simplistic words when I start talking about stuff that's not gameplay. Like, I could tell you about how fantastic the sound design is and how, like, you know, good and punchy it feels to land attacks in that game, or exploit enemy weaknesses to do combos. You know, so I could do that really easily. But when it comes to the characters, you know, like the story, there's a lot of symbolism and things. And yeah, I'm fucking shit at this. And I brought up Nostalgia Critic earlier. Look, I don't like Nostalgia Critic. I haven't watched Nostalgia Critic in like 5 years. It's going to stay that way because Doug's really bad about talking about shit he doesn't understand. And that's everything I don't want to be. Absolutely. So, you're going to see a lot of my review videos focus mainly on gameplay, and they kind of steer clear of other things. It's not because I don't think they aren't worth talking about. But, a really good example, Hotline Miami is something that's on my rose-tinted hit list. And I will likely never do it. Because Hotline Miami, while a very fun game, it, and especially its sequel, have something deeper and more profound to say beyond being a good game that's fun to play. And I like Hotline Miami 2 a lot. I was actually going to redo my top 10 games, and it's got a spot in there now. I just recently played through it within like the last week. And Sorry, the last month. And I think it's art, personally. As far as I know, critics hated that when it came out, and I think they're kind of idiots. Honestly. I think they didn't get it. I'm not trying to say I get it better than they do, but I've seen a lot of videos talking about it, and it sure seems like it's got something to say that they were just not privy to, which is sad, because they get paid to make reviews. But, basically, Nostalgia Critic is really bad about interpreting stuff that he doesn't get out of movies or whatever he's talking about, and it kind of makes him look like an idiot. Really good example, Pink Floyd's The Wall, or also known as Nostalgia Critic's The Wall, which is awful. I've never watched that, I'm never going to, but I've seen enough reviews of it to be like, oh, Doug has no clue what he's fucking talking about. Look, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person that's talking out their ass and doesn't know what they're talking about, so you won't see me dissect things at that kind of a level. Like a video essay level, I guess? I don't know. I don't really know what a video essay is. I don't care. I fucking hate terms like that. They're kind of boring. To reiterate this, to tie this back into why I brought up Hotline Miami, I can dissect the gameplay in Hotline Miami. I cannot adequately dissect the themes it plays around with and the greater statement that those games have to say. I can't. I'm not good at it. So I'm not going to do it. So a lot of my PSPMan videos will be just talking about gameplay and whether or not the game is fun to play, whether or not the story is fun to experience or enjoyable, or, you know, something you could get something out of as a person. Yeah. You won't see me talk about things I don't know anything about, basically. And that's fine. And that's the way I want it. That's not like a hard limit. I might dip into it in the future once I learn more. But as of right now, that's the plan. I'm not really going to go super in-depth with stuff. I don't even know if you guys can hear me. I'm kind of far away from the mic. Sorry. But yeah. Basically, I know my limits. I'm not going to be doing shit with PSPMan that extends me past it. I was going to do an episode on poker games. I have all the games already. And I have a book on how to play poker. No, that one's going to be done much later. When I have other people that can, like, help me with it than teach me. Because it's a little too much for me. I was struggling with it. Yeah. Sudoku was easy. I actually did learn how to play Sudoku via Carol Voderman's Sudoku. But other games don't have robust tutorials like that, especially for something that's like based on a real-world concept, like poker. What was that? It was like, it was the 2600 game Bridge in the Activision collection. I still don't know how to play that, and I legit did skip it. But that's because the game's manual does not fucking teach you how to play it, which is bullshit. Now, don't think that's going to be a case on the channel. Like, we're going to fucking power through shit like that. But that was one game in a collection, and I knew damn well nobody cared about it. And it was incredibly complicated when I did look it up. So I was like, literally, fuck this shit. Like, even people online are telling me, like, yeah, it's not easy to learn. And I was like, okay, I'm not learning this for a 5-second clip in a fucking massive review. No, thank you. But, yeah. Basically, I'm focused on my channel being quality. I want to continue to get better. I know my limits, but I also want to make my money. I don't want people to think that I'm doing this for the hell of it. I kind of am, but I do need the money. I want to be transparent about that. So, when you see me start doing sponsorships at some point in the future, or I'm running ads, or I have a Patreon I'm advertising, don't be too surprised because you've been warned. And I'm not even saying just in this video, I've said this before on community posts at other places. But, I think there's one last thing I want to talk about, but I don't really think I'm going to touch on it too much. So, this video serves as a little bit of an announcement. For stuff you guys probably weren't even privy to. But, when I designed my channel, I was planting some seeds So, good example, my profile picture. Yes, it is a reference to the Tony Hawk 10-year challenge with Project 8 PSP. But there's a reason why it looks the way it does. It did have a little bit of symbolism to it. Not going to explain what. There's a reason why in both Rose Tinted and PSPMan, I explained the rating systems twice. There's a reason why I actually went back to the PSP Wi-Fi video and cut a segment out of it, which I'm going to play the full segment now versus the one that's actually in the video currently. Not everything I do on this channel is PSP related, but it's definitely going to be the majority of it. Hope to see you guys next time. Okay, so the reason why all that stuff is the way it is because originally I planned for my channel to have a little bit of lore to it. I'm not going to go super in depth, but basically, PSPMan and Rose Tinted are two separate people. They're not the same person. They can't see each other on the channel. I am telling you guys about this because I have officially decided to drop that. The original plan for Rose Tinted was it was going to be something I did in between PSPMan episodes to kind of keep my sanity, so I wasn't constantly working on something I wasn't familiar with. Yeah, that's all it needs to be. Much like what I explained earlier with not wanting to be a nostalgia critic, I need to know my limits, and at the end of the day, I'm not talented enough to put lore into a channel like this, and honestly, I don't think people fucking care, dude. I don't think anybody gives a shit. Like, at the end of the day, I really like Civvy 11, and I love what his channel is, but, like, he's the only person I watch that has, like, a channel that's got some lore to it, and it is interesting. I do like it, but it kind of takes a back seat to his videos, and I'm not talented enough to do that properly, so fuck it, I'm just not going to do it. And that's why I'm telling you guys about it, because it's never going to get used. But I'll tell you what the profile picture is supposed to be. So I was playing around with the idea of like masking mental health conditions, and somebody's mental state was going to deteriorate as time went on. But like I said, I'm not talented enough to do that, so we don't have to do anything with it. And that was kind of the plan, was I was going to plant the seeds and then figure out if I really wanted to go in this direction. And I've decided to not do it because it seems like it would just be a bad idea. I wouldn't be able to do it correctly. And I was already kind of having problems with it anyways, and I'm not even that far into like either series, so yeah, fuck that shit. I'd rather just talk as a person and be honest and not like some weird lore dump bullshit, you know? I don't want to be a nostalgia critic, dude. I want to actually be proud of the things I make, and I don't want to be delusional. You know, I didn't go to college. I don't think I'm like super smart or anything. I'm pretty grounded in who I am, and I think I can do what I do and be good at it. As long as I, you know, like I said, keep myself grounded and don't go crazy trying to be super ambitious and do all this junk. Because at the end of the day, I don't think anybody cares about that stuff. I think they're here for the videos, or they're here for my opinion, and that's what it should be. And I think that's it. Again, thank you so much for 1,000 subs. Yeah, hopefully this video answered a lot of questions you may have had about the channel. And, you know, thanks for sticking with me. This is kind of a reward for the people that have been here forever. And, yeah, thank you. You'll never understand how much you mean to me.